This is Robert Landau, podcast host of the 5-Minute Life Changer, because 5 minutes is all the motivation you need to choose to change your life for the better. I want to thank all of you for listening to this podcast series. It's been an incredible experience for me, as I know now it has been for many of you, because the emails that I'm getting from you guys, the suggestions for future episodes I'm getting from you guys, the compliments, the ideas, the questions, all kinds of stuff. It's been very interactive, which is so wonderful for me, as I hope it is for you. If you too would like to join the others who email me from time to time, the email is robert@the5minutelifechanger.com. So let's get to this episode. It is called How to Be an Optimist in the Real World. Here's my question for you. How much of a positive thinker are you from day to day? How would you rate yourself? Let's say from 1 to 10. 10 being amazing, no problem thinking positive, down to 1 being I am absolutely horrible at thinking positive. And I would say that for many of you, it just depends on the day, it depends on the situation, it depends on the moment. But what I want to instill in you is this. You have more control as to how you feel, how you react to things, whether you choose, and that's an operative word here, choose to think positive or negative given any situation. So how can you be positive? How can you be an optimist in the real world when so much around us seems to be so very negative? Well, the answer to that question is choose not to let it get to you. Be aware that there's hardship in the world. Be aware that there's negativity. Be aware of this and of that. But you can control whether you choose to become that energy or not. Quick example. My father was from Berlin, Germany. My mother from Bucharest, Romania. They were Eastern European. So everything growing up was regimented. It was kind of like you were on a cruise ship. We ate breakfast at the same time every morning, lunch at the same time every afternoon, so on and so forth throughout the day. And my father was a news junkie. Every night, dinner had to be over just before the 7 o'clock national news began. Because whether dinner was finished or not, my father would get up and place himself on the chair in front of the TV with the remote and turn to, I can't remember if it was ABC, NBC, or CBS in those days. And he would start watching the news every night, feeling so positive, so joyous, just because it had been a wonderful day. And he was typically a very energetically positive person. But during the 30 minutes of that news broadcast, his whole energy would change, because 9 out of 10 stories on any particular 30-minute podcast that he would watch of the nightly news was negative. It was doomsday. It was just horrific. And his whole demeanor changed to where when he first sat down in the chair to watch the news, he would have such great posture and be so positive. He really wanted to know what was going on in the world that day. But by the time the news finished, you had to help him out of the chair. He was distressed, destroyed. So much of a negative energy was he that it affected the rest of the evening and the next day, to where he would start sighing because of what was going on in the Middle East in those days, or this or that. He literally became the negativity in the world. Well, that's a choice. You can watch the news if you really want to expose yourself to that stuff, but choose not to become it. You can become aware of it, but then through self-talk within yourself, you say, you know what? That's horrible, but I'm going to move forward and continue to have a great day. And that's what you need to do in life. You can't control what happens in the real world on the outside of you. All you can do is choose how to manage how you react to stuff in the world outside of you and choose not to let it bother you. And if it does bother you, make the choice to eventually rise above that feeling and not let it overtake you. You have the control to do that. Talk to yourself within yourself. Distract your brain from negative thinking and do something positive. You can change your day. You can change your life. You can change this moment for the better. It's easier to do than you think. It's all about feeling. Control your feelings, and you've got it made. You can be an optimist in the real world any day, any time, any moment, if you believe that that is possible, and then you do what you can to do it. This is nothing beyond your control. Have you got this? Hell yes. Thanks for listening. This has been Robert Landau with the 5-Minute Life Changer podcast. We'll see you on the next episode.